I am going to be giving you girls the 30-day glow up plan strategy, whatever you want to call it. I actually did this strategy back in July when I was at my heaviest, and I had a lot of like just stubborn fat, especially in my face actually, and my lower stomach. I got to a point where I was just so uncomfortable, but didn't really know like what strategy to start. I didn't want to lose my butt, which is usually what makes me the most nervous of starting anything kind of intense. When you get to a place like that, you almost feel stuck because you don't know like which direction to go. You're like, should I go on a crazy cut and just be in a deficit? Will that even work? What should I eat? Or should I try to just work out a lot more, do a lot more cardio? Like, it just feels like there's a lot of options for you, but you don't know which kind of route to take. The good thing for you guys is I have done the work. I have experienced this myself. I have been experimenting with diets and my body and training for so long now, and I document a lot on my channel. So I'm going to tell you girls how I transformed very quickly and ended up like carving and shaping out my body to the point where almost 8 months later, I think that my math is right. 8 months, July, August, September, October, November, January, February, March, April, May. Wow, it's on point. Almost 8 months later, I am still like seeing the results from the strategy that I had for those 60 days. I'm going to be giving you guys like more of the 30-day type of method, but for almost 60 days, I was doing this and I lost a ton of fat. My stomach was the flattest it's been in years. I was growing my lower body. People were literally commenting every week, asking me if I went on Ozempic. I would do a couple of things different, which I'll share with you girls. But bottom line, I saw results so fast. And I'm like genuinely the happiest I've ever been with my body. So I want to be giving you girls kind of the guidelines, the glow up recipe, if you want to call it that, for getting this body right before we are in bikini season, which is approaching very, very quickly. And this is just what's worked for me, guys. I'm going to give you girls this advice. 80% of you girls are not going to do at all what I'm going to tell you to do. So if you're watching this and you feel like you want to make a big change, I'm going to let you know right now, like the people that you see that are killing it, that have this amazing body, they are putting in the work. They are genuinely, consistently putting in the work. That is not just handed to anybody. If you think that you're just going to kind of like do whatever the bare minimum is, you are not going to get to this end result. I want to tell you guys about the place I was in July of last year. I was enjoying myself and it definitely showed. I decided to make a drastic change and do a pretty intense strategy for a couple months. I'm going to share with you girls kind of how I got to my end goal of losing this stubborn fat, but still shaping my body and specifically like shrinking my waist. I really wanted to focus on this lower stomach belly fat. And that is what like kind of the main focus of the detox was. And of course my face, I had a crazy face transformation, which I'm showing you guys here. I went on what I like to call my no processed carb or sugar detox. I was basically doing keto. I was actually reading a book that my mom had been experimenting with. My mom is a nurse practitioner. My mom is really into nutrition and everything. So she was reading the Galveston diet, and it's by a woman, I think her name is Mary, Dr. Mary Haver, I think it is. I didn't do this diet to a T, but I was taking her suggestions for my fats and my proteins and my no carbs for this detox. If I heard someone saying they were doing this diet years ago, I would think that I would never, because like I said, I have a carb addiction 100%. I love my sugar. I love my candy. But I was at a point where I was like, something big needs to change. And a lot of you girls are at that point right now. The point of wanting to try this diet was I wanted to see if I limited my carb intake to almost zero. My macro split was actually 60% fat, 30% protein, 10% carbs. I wanted to see if my body would use my stored fat as energy instead of my stored carbs as energy, which is what it usually uses. There's research that shows if you're using that stored fat as energy, it can actually help you lose fat faster or just get that stubborn fat in general. And so I wanted to see if this would work. Basically, like you're in ketosis. I felt so good doing this diet. Yes, there were days where I was like, I just want a cracker. I just want bread. It was worth it, 100% worth it. I lost fat very quickly. I lost weight very quickly. If you are not eating enough protein, you will notice a difference in your muscle and your size. This is the detox that I did. I did an entire video on this that I will link below, but you guys are seeing the before and afters. Like, I'm not kidding. In 2 weeks, it was insane the difference that I saw. I'm still so happy with the results. I'm so happy with the way my face looks, all of the bloating. Like, I bloat so much less now, and I've definitely gone weeks of just eating what I want since then. So go on a little detox. You will not regret it. We're going to get into the controversial tip now. So I have talked about this for years. In the fitness community, I still think it's a little taboo, but I, like always, am just telling you girls what has worked for me. Waist training has been a game changer for me. And honestly, this year more than ever, and I think it's because I've been like the most consistent with it. I have been so consistent this year, and my waist has never been smaller. Waist training, like anything, you need to be consistent with. Just like if you stopped weight training, you would notice a difference in your butt. Your legs and your butt, they would look different if for a couple weeks you didn't weight train. What I love most, I would say, about waist training is the results are immediate with waist training. If I put my waist trainer on in the morning and I take it off after a few hours, I don't care how bloated I start, I always look way flatter after I take it off. Yes, there are effects that you'll see more long term, but the immediate effects is why I truly wear it so often. Like, it almost works like a lymphatic drainage massage. It's moving the fluids around in your stomach. If you're bloated, it's kind of helping with the water retention, which a lot of us girls struggle with, especially at that time of the month. But it really does flatten, especially that lower stomach, which is like my problem area. No matter what I do, I always have some fat there. I, as you girls know, have been working so hard to come out with the best version of the waist trainer I personally love, which I've not found. Specifically the one that I wear, it really presses on that lower stomach, but it doesn't go too far where it's like flattening your hips. It actually enhances the hips. I've always said this. I love wearing it under normal clothes. Even when I go out, if I'm looking super bloated, I'll throw my waist trainer on. Yes, it's a little deceiving because it looks like I got some crazy lipo, but it just looks so good, especially if I know I'm going to be in swimwear and I need my stomach to look extra flat. I know I'm hyping this up, but it's truly worked for me for years, and you can go back and see me talk about this years ago because I swear by my shapewear, my waist trainer. Number 3 tip, girls. Okay, what I see a lot of people do, and I talk to girls every single day, so I can honestly say that I see this all the time. Girls will say to me like, yeah, I'm like consistent sometimes. Like, I kind of fell off for a couple weeks. Like, I'm never like truly consistent. And every time I hear that, I'm like, well, of course you're not where you want to be. Like, I can't tell you girls how important it is to be consistent and frequent with your weight training. Muscle growth really does compound over time. You need to be frequent and consistent with it for a long enough time. Once you start compounding that muscle, you can start to really focus on just maintaining it. We maybe grow up to 1 pound of muscle a month. And that's if you're doing almost everything right. Something needs to be done for long enough to really see the outcome. I hope that in this video, if there's anything you got out of this to prepare for summer, don't stop for a few months and you will actually be shocked at what's happening. Lastly, what I'm going to say, guys, commit to legs 3 times a week. This is going to be a game changer, and main thing is really spread these days out. I would even say do like Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I have been doing a lot of like different accessory workouts, one of them being the clamshells on the cable machine. I have seen my girl M talk about these on TikTok. She's the sweetest. She's shouted me out a few times. I love M. I have not consistently done these before, and I swear they work so well. That, as well as I have been doing single leg hip thrusts. Game changer. I'm posting a clip here because I do them a little bit differently. I do these before any hip thrusts. I do these as a superset. I do these almost every single leg day, and I feel the burn like no other. I usually use like a heavier dumbbell, like a 45-pound dumbbell, 40 pounds, sometimes 35. Game changer. These accessories, these two together have been crazy results for me. I've been loving it. My glutes have been looking great, especially my side booty looking amazing. I really hope you guys loved this video. Please let me know what you guys think of this little strategy down below. And if you don't already subscribe to me, guys, please hit that subscribe button. I promise I have a lot more tricks and tips on the way. I love you girls so much. I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.